Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And we have something a little bit different planned for you. We obviously have our draft selection videos coming out weekly, but we thought how fun would it be to do a premium draft selection and try to get in some of those premium assets, because I feel like most of the team selections that we've been seeing have been one premium, that's Haaland, because he's so expensive, it takes up most of your budget. But we wanted to challenge ourselves to try to do a second premium in there and see what those teams look like. So I'm joined as always by Yelena. Yelena, how's it
Oh, thank you. This was tough to do, and it's now made me want Salah in my team.
going? Okay, so I have a spoiler. I knew that you were doing it with Salah, so I did it with Harry Kane just to give people something different.
Oh,
So you can have
such a good
like
idea.
midfielder and attacker, and then you can have like the two premium attackers. So I'm going to present my screen so that we can get right into it. And I'll give you guys a warning. I have two drafts because I was just like tinkering so much and having a lot of fun. So this is my first premium draft. I didn't put it in the formation. Why? Because I had some money in the bank and I wanted to kind of walk you through some of the options that you could go for in here. So the idea is to have a 4-4-2. So in this four, I would have Gabriel, Henry, Chilwell, Stones. But you could easily upgrade this to a 5 million defender. I think Estupinian is 5 million, Pedro Porro as well at Spurs. So you could easily upgrade this position, still have 0.5 mil in the bank. And then the midfield and Buemo, Saka, Mitoma, Rashford. And then you have a lot of players hovering around this 6.57 mark. So you could look to bring in Buendia from Aston Villa. They're having a really good preseason. Or you could look into bringing in, there's a ton of players sitting at that 7 million mark as well. And then the front two would be Kane and Haaland. And I haven't seen like any drafts with Kane really. And obviously he was, I think, the second highest just behind Haaland last year. And he was incredible and he was a mainstay in my team. But I think at the price point, it's just been a little bit difficult to get him in. The drawback with this selection is that the bench is pretty weak. And if you do the upgrades, you might have 0 to 0.5 mil in the bank, but you are getting in Harry Kane. Obviously, this is contingent on him staying at Spurs, which we still don't know, but we're taking the assumption that he is staying. So, yeah, what do you think about this like initial draft tinkering to get Harry Kane in?
What really surprises me with this is I think you can't have two premiums. There's no way you can have Haaland, Kane, and then a strong squad. But you do have a really, really strong team. And even if one of the criticisms like first draft that was that my bench was too strong. And actually, if your bench isn't that strong, but you have to replace some of your kind of starting lineup, you've got so much money to be able to get someone else equally as good in. I don't know if it's that detrimental. I think when we get to sort of double game weeks and blank game weeks, you really have to think about your bench. But for now, we're probably wild card by week 10. So I think it's a really, really strong team. And Kane is one that I haven't seen him in many drafts. And I think, like you said, everyone's a bit worried about his future, whether he's going to stay with Spurs. I think a nice alternative to Kane would be Son, is he 9 million this season?
Yeah, he's 9 million.
And I think if Kane wasn't playing, I'd be really tempted to go for Son. But I think this is a really strong team, to be honest. And do you know what Kane's ownership is this season?
I can check it for you right now. So at the
Because I feel
time
as though it's
recording,
sorry, go on.
sorry, at the time of recording, it's 13.8, which is low, but it's actually higher than I thought it would be because I feel like I haven't seen any drafts with him. But let me show you my second draft because I feel like I like this one even more. So this one is a 3-4-3 formation. You still have the 4.5 million goalkeeper. You have a back three of Gabriel, Chilwell, and Estupinian. Then you have a 4 again of like whichever 6.5 million midfielders you want. I went for Buendia, Saka, Matoma, Rashford. And then you have a front three of Nico, Jackson, Kane, and Haaland, which I thought was really, really interesting because I'm pretty set that I want Nico Jackson in my team, seeing him so intensely with Chelsea's preseason. And the interesting thought about this one is you have a second Chelsea defender in Malo Gusto for just 4 million. We know that Reece James can be injury prone. So whenever Reece James isn't fit for whatever reason, you're automatically going to have a starting 4 million defender come off of your bench. And you know that he's going to play good and that he is likely to get goal contributions as well because he's really direct. And that's just how the fullbacks play in Poch's system, is that they get forward, they invert, and they become almost like these inverted wingers. So I actually was like seeing this and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I quite like this draft.
I love this draft. And that front three, if the goals for Chelsea are mostly coming from Jackson, you could be onto something because City sometimes it's spread out, but you can't predict the lineup. And we know Haaland is just an absolute beast in any game. Kane is like top scorer for Spurs. I think Jackson, Kane, and Haaland, if they all fulfill their potential, that's such a strong front three. And you could be having, I don't know, just points galore. It would be mad, picking up bonus points. And then the midfield, I really, really like. You've got Matoma, Saka, and Rashford, who are kind of the key ones. And we spoke in the previous video about Matoma's ownership being high, and that will help you with the rank. And then the defense, I really, really like. Chilwell, you get attacking returns. Again, following the template, you've got Estepinian and then Gabriel. That is such a strong team. I'm really impressed by it.
Isn't it? Like I kept tinkering because I had my first premium draft and I was like, I feel like I can do better. And the thing is, if you want 0.5 million in the bank, you can just downgrade Rashford for Fernandez. You'll still have that United asset. Like you said in our previous video, Fernandez is the one on pens as well. So you're gonna have, you know, some attacking returns there, and you have 0.5 million in the bank in case you wanted to upgrade any of the other positions. And like you said, like what I would maybe do is just no matter what, make sure to roll the first transfer so that if for whatever reason I have to get Harry Kane out of the team, I could do it easily and just like downgrade the attacker and then upgrade a midfielder for free. So I'm actually like really, really tempted to go for this. Obviously, it's dependent on if Kane stays at Spurs. I haven't seen any news otherwise. I think Bayern Munich have made a couple of bids for him, but I haven't seen anything close to being accepted or any new news regarding that. I'd like to see more about how Spurs play in preseason, but the thing that like kind of sticks out to me with Kane is that even though they had a really poor season last season, he was consistently scoring goals. And I think it went under the radar a bit because he was getting goals every week and was like 6-6-6-6 instead of like 12-2, 12-2 or something. But I feel like he was so consistent. But let's get to your draft because I don't have so much time left to record. But you've brought in.
We'll get through it efficiently.
What?
We'll get through it efficiently.
Yeah. But you brought in Salah, and I think he's. How much is he to bring in? Because Kane was 12.5.
Yeah, Salah's 12.5 as well. His ownership
Okay.
at the moment is 24.5%.
Okay, so that's like not so high for Salah, but still high enough that it's making me think maybe I should have him in my team.
Yeah, and that's what makes me kind of lean more towards Salah rather than Kane. I mean, Salah last season, 19 goals, 13 assists. And I feel as though Haaland was so much more impressive. He just completely went under the radar, similar to Kane. And where you have these players in previous years where you were kind of captaining them every single week, it was a no-brainer. Haaland's come in and kind of put them in the shadows, and we've forgotten that they're still really, really strong players. Last season, if Haaland wasn't around, it would definitely focus would have been on Salah. But Salah had a bit of a strange season too. There were some weeks just completely blanked, and then the next week he'd haul. So he's a bit more unpredictable. It'll be interesting to see how Liverpool play in pre-season. But with this draft, again, I think it's a nice balance of kind of, well, it's much more template than my current team. There's a lot of higher players in there, but it's a bit of a punt on Pedro, who's looking really, really strong for Brighton at the moment. The issue is the bench isn't necessarily the best, but still Pinnock I'm quite excited about. I think he could get some attacking returns for Brentford. I'm not sure on their defence at the moment, but we'll wait and see. Colwill, I'm quite happy to have him on my bench. I think he could be a decent asset. And then the other two would probably just be bench warmers, never to be touched or brought on. But overall, I don't think this squad is that bad. And I'm not sure if I think we're just completely overlooking the fact that there is a brilliant player who's going to get attacking returns and he's going to get bonus points. But because we're all blinded by Haaland, we've kind of forgotten that Salah even exists at this point. So I'd quite like to bring him in, 12.5 million. And then if he does turn out to be a flop, I've got that money to upgrade somewhere, my forward position, in my defence, maybe put it back into the midfield, then have money in the bank. There's a lot more flexibility starting off with 2 premiums and then working your way back.
Yeah, and I think like the other interesting thing here is that we have like a couple of different like decent price midfield options, and any one of them can really hit off. So you have Gross and Buemo. Then in my team, I have Buendia, Mitoma. So there's a couple of really good options, and I think it's also going to be, it's a bit of like a crapshoot at this point because you can look at the stats and you can try, but there's an element that you just don't know who's going to really take off. And I think, you know, there's the opportunity to kind of like mix and match basically who you pick for those spots. But this is like really interesting. Like I honestly, I'm really, really considering tinkering, especially because in our previous video we said that we don't have any Liverpool assets, and now I'm like, oh, should I have Liverpool assets? And the thing that I like about Salah is that it's a bit easier to downgrade than Kane is, because I think if I were to downgrade Kane, I would probably put that money back into my midfield, unless like Chelsea do amazing and I want to have the double up of Nico Jackson and Nkunku, which I'm still like debating. Maybe like game week 3 I'll try it. I don't think I'll actually go for it. But I think that it's like a little bit easier to get there. But it's super interesting, and now I'm feeling like, should I have one of these premium assets in my team? Because I actually quite like the teams that we've both drafted.
One thing I'm a bit hesitant with, I don't know where the goals will come from for Liverpool. So I wonder if it's worth starting with Salah, the most expensive player, and then if it ends up being Trent's getting attacking returns and Liverpool keeping clean sheets, that would be 2 transfers to bring in Trent instead. Or if Darwin has a miracle and he actually ends up finishing, it would be great to then downgrade Salah, downgrade someone in the midfield, then go for Darwin. But you've got that money to easily be able to do it within 2 transfers. Whereas if suddenly we bring in Trent, but Salah's the one that's amazing, you've got so much more tinkering to do. And I think it's a lot more difficult to bring in Salah. So that's what makes me think start off most expensive and then see where it goes.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point as well. So I'm definitely going to have a lot of tinkering to do. I'm sure, like by the time we get to next week's episode, it's not going to be a premium draft. It's just going to be like my draft because I'm feeling so tempted. But guys, let us know. Are you considering 2 premium players? If so, who are you considering? What's your team looking like? Did you like the drafts that we put together? I feel like we did a really good job. That they're really, really interesting options
I
to
think
go.
they're strong.
Yeah, I think that they're strong. I don't know, like it might be stronger than my team. Because the other thing I'm thinking about is like, if you have a premium player, hopefully you would have them like hit the ground running. And with like maybe some of those midfield options that we have, like there's a potential that yes, it could work, or no, it could just not work, and you're kind of relying on somebody to get goals who's not going to. So I'm thinking about that as well. I don't know. I'm super torn as always. But let us know in the comments what you think, and that's probably going to sway me.
Definitely. One person will be like bringing Kane. We'll be like, okay.
Okay. I'll do it. Thanks. Thanks for the confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Well, Yana, thank you so much. I loved this new type of video. I thought that it was super fun, and I was like having a blast just tinkering last night, as you could tell by me creating 2 drafts. So thanks so much for hopping on, and let everybody know where they can find you.
I'm on Twitter and I always forget TikTok at YellenFPL.
I know, especially
Do we
like for me, I
talk?
have like the different usernames because like my Twitter name doesn't fit. Then I was like, should I just change it across the board? So I don't know. I haven't like decided yet. But guys, if you like this video, make sure to sub to Yelena's channel. She obviously has a YouTube channel as well that I tag in every video. Follow us on social media, like and subscribe to my channel. I was gonna say like and comment, but subscribe to while you're at it. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And yeah, let us know what you guys are thinking. Let us know what you think of our drafts. Just a couple of weeks out until the kickoff of the game, and I'm already losing sleep over it. Like, of course. So guys, have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, we're out. Bye.
Bye.